Ooh.
That's
new?
new.
That's new.
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to be.
I'm going to leave meeting. I'm going to leave
You changed
meeting.
your voice.
Yeah,
It says continue or leave meeting. I'll pick leave.
there you go.
Are we good to go?
Yeah, I'm just going to share the agenda. Is that sharing the agenda?
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
Okay. So everyone can see where we are.
Yeah, this is different, isn't it? Here she is.
Okay, so we are recording, we're sharing screen, and we are live on YouTube. So I think we're ready to go ahead. Let me just check the. Oh yeah, we've got our participants in the audience. Okay. The June 3rd, 2021 meeting of the Yarmouth Conservation Commission is about to be convened as a precautionary measure to reduce the spread of coronavirus. All town buildings, well, actually, all town buildings are not closed to the public anymore, but this meeting is being held by remote participation. My name is Kelly Grant, and I will be moderating participation for this meeting. I will now turn it over to the chair.
Thank you, Kelly. My name is Ed Hoops. I'm the chairman of the Yarmouth Conservation Commission. I will begin by taking a roll call for quorum. David Bernstein.
Here.
Hold on, Kevin.
Rick Bishop.
Here.
Tom Durkin.
Here.
Ed Hoops is here. Paul Huggins.
I did. I'm just. I have a meeting at 1 tomorrow. And
Ellie Lawrence.
Here.
And Patricia Mulhern.
Here.
We are all set with a quorum present. I will now call the meeting to order. I will now ask the moderator to explain how remote participation works.
Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and the Governor's March 23, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Yarmouth Conservation Commission is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access and participate in the proceedings as provided for in the order. Persons who would like to view this meeting while in progress may do so by watching via this virtual meeting or the live feed on the Town of Yarmouth YouTube channel. You may also listen to the meeting by dialing into the number provided on the notice. Please be patient as we work to overcome any technological challenges. To reduce confusion, all participants are muted by the moderator. As participants are called upon to speak, they will be unmuted. Applicants can use the raise hand button or press *9 on their phone to identify themselves to the chair. The meeting host will then unmute applicants when they are called upon to speak. During the portion of the hearing designated for public comment, the chair or moderator will ask who in the audience has any public comments or questions. Members of the public attending this meeting virtually will be able to make comments using the raise hand button within the virtual meeting. If you're dialed in on the phone to the phone number provided, you can press *9 on your phone to indicate that you would like to comment. Please wait for the chairman to recognize you before speaking. Members of the public who wish to provide comment are asked to identify themselves by first and last name and affiliation for the public record and then provide their comment. Prior to concluding opportunities for discussion, comment or question, the chair will ask a final time if anyone wishes to speak on the matter. All votes must be roll call votes. After a motion is made and there is a second, the chair will ask the moderator to take and report the roll call vote. All motions, decisions, documents and letters will be verbally read into the record. If it appears the meeting cannot or should not proceed, then the moderator will recommend the chair request to continue the hearing to a later date and time or until public meetings can resume normally. I will now hand the meeting back to the chair.
All right, thank you, Kelly. I'm going to get into the agenda items, but before we move on to the agenda itself, I want to make an announcement to anybody who's here for the following hearings: 1 Malfa Road, 15 Wadsworth Lane, 181 South Street, or the certificate of compliance for 355 Great Island Road, those are all items are being continued to June 17th. I believe that's right, June 17th.
Mhm.
So there will be no testimony taken on any of those hearings at tonight's meeting. So if you're here for that, you don't need to hang around. Moving on then to the first item on the agenda, it's public comment on the revised Town of Yarmouth Stormwater Bylaw for Chapter 145. We already had the presentation at last month's meeting, and this is purely for public comment at this point. So if I'm going to go over to the participants, and now for whatever reason, I can't get the participant list to come up. There we go. If there's anybody in the audience who has any comments or questions about the Town of Yarmouth revised stormwater bylaw, you should raise your hand electronically now. And last chance, going once. Raise your hand if you have any public comment on the revised Town of Yarmouth stormwater bylaw. I see no questions from the public. And so we'll go back. Kelly, do we just need a vote to approve the revised stormwater regs, right?
Yeah, I was anticipating collecting any comments this evening and then putting it on the next agenda for them to be adopted.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple of edits that need to be made, and just for I guess the record, because there is one revision that has been made since these were posted for public comment, and that was just with regard to an exemption for projects that have already been through formal site plan review. That we just needed to update the dates for that if a project has been through formal review through the site plan team prior to June 30th, 2021, they're exempt from meeting the requirements of the regulation. If the project commences construction prior to June 30th, 2022. So, and then if construction has not commenced before June 30, 2022, then the project will be required to reapply for approval under these regulations. So that was the only change that has been made since these were posted for public comment. I have posted the legal ad for the next meeting to have them adopted at the next meeting. So if we want to wait and have that vote then, just so that it
Okay.
follows what's been advertised.
All right. And then do you want to take any written comments between now and then? We'll still accept them?
I guess that's up to the commission. Do you want to review any of those comments at the next meeting, or you just want to do the straight adoption? So I think, I mean, we
straight adoption.
Public comment tonight, so I wouldn't be
okay.
Any further public comment.
All right, that sounds good then. All right, so we will then vote on it next week, or next meeting.
Thank you.
Everybody set on that?
That's
all right. Next order of business then is we're moving into continued notices of intent. The first continued notice of intent is for SE 83-2284, Town of Yarmouth, 125 Seagull Beach Road, West Yarmouth, Massachusetts. Proposed ecological restoration and culvert reconstruction within the buffer zone to a wetland resource area and land subject to coastal storm flowage. And we've gotten all our abutter notification issues out of the way and legal ads and everything. We're all set, right?
That's correct.
All right. Is that?
We have Roger in the audience.
Okay, Roger, you want to go ahead and
Sure.
state your name?
For the record, my name's Roger McNevich. I'm an engineer with Coastal Engineering Company, representing the town of Yarmouth with this filing. This is an ecological restoration filing for the reconstruction and repair of two existing cross culverts which pass under Seagull Road. Based on our research, Seagull Road was constructed in the early 1950s along the edge of Lewis Pond, and in few areas, the road actually crossed wetland stretches that existed south of the roadway right away, to the extent that two areas where existing salt marsh were cut off from Lewis Pond area. And to accommodate continued growth in the salt marsh, at the time of the construction, a 12-inch diameter culvert was placed across the roadway embankment in the two locations, which we're calling an east culvert and a west culvert. The east culvert connects a larger, let's see, do you have can you bring up one of the plans? It'd probably be good to see one of the site plans.
Can you see that plan?
We did.
I did see it, but I can't see it again.
Oh, okay. Let me just share that again. Sorry, I moved it between screens. It's a little. Okay, let's share. Can you see that now?
Oh, yes, yes. Let's see. Trying to see which that.
This is the first one.
Okay, this is the west culvert. Okay, the westernmost culvert. The two pipe culverts are about, I don't know, 1,500 feet apart. This one cross connects Lewis Pond to a relatively small salt marsh area consisting of about a half an acre. As you can see on the plan, the existing condition, you see the paved road right away, and you see the existing culvert pipe as it passes under the road. To complicate matters as far as this project is concerned, you can also see on the plan along the south side of the road, there's a buried 6 or 8 inch water main that we have to deal with, which we're presuming, because water mains are typically buried 5 feet below grade for frost protection. We're presuming the water main goes under the culvert, and I think that's truly the case here. And on the opposite side of the road, there's buried utilities as well. It appears to be cable and electric buried on the other side, and we don't have specific information on those. That'll have to be vetted at the time of construction, but it's shown here in the approximate location based upon some flagging from previous work at the site that were placed by DigSafe. The situation with both of these culverts, and in particular this one, is that because the culverts were manufactured of reinforced concrete pipe, and they've been sitting in a saltwater environment for many, many decades, they've started to deteriorate. And as a matter of fact, the ends of the pipe on both ends, which were exposed completely to salt water in the tidal fluctuations, they virtually disappeared. The concrete has disintegrated, and even there's a few remnants of reinforcing bars, and the pipes have deteriorated into the embankment, so we can't even see the pipe. Now, we've also been informed that the primary purpose of this project, the impetus, is that there's evidence of the pipe deteriorating within the embankment, and there's been noted that there's been sinkholes, which is most likely the pipe has voids in its surface on the top, and sediment of the embankment under the paved roadway is passing into the pipe and getting washed away. And I believe in recent time, there's had to been repairs to the pipe where the road was opened up and patches were made in the pipe, and then the road closed up and repaved. You can actually see the pavement patches out there from the work done at the two locations. So you say, well, what do we do about this for this particular location? I think what has to happen is the pipe needs to be completely replaced. And this proposal includes the removal of the existing 12-inch diameter reinforced concrete pipe and replacing it with a much more durable PVC 12-inch diameter SDR 21 pipe. It's a pipe designed for septic system installation and sewer installation, and it's very durable. It can accommodate the salt water flows. It should last virtually in perpetuity. Now, because of the proximity to salt marsh along both sides of the culvert, our design includes the installation of precast concrete wing walls, the head walls, as you can see on the plans. That'll help secure the embankments and stabilize the embankments in each of the four ends. And we're actually looking at one of the sites. So we'll get down to the other one shortly. In order to be able to do this, I think we're introducing a drop-off where the head walls are. So we're also showing the installation of about a 20-foot section of steelback timber guardrail, as you can see on the plan on both sides. And then also, there's also a short section of chain link fence that we're proposing right to run along the top of the concrete wing wall, because the drop gets to be considerably more than 30 inches. So building code requires something like that. It's just a very short section. All the work that needs to be done can be performed from the roadway. It's a relatively straightforward project for a contractor, and he can have all his equipment sitting on the pavement only. And we envision that the width of the trench can be kept quite narrow. We're showing about a 10-foot wide area in which to cut pavement and do the work. The contractor, depending upon who the contractor is, could possibly make that a much narrower cut because these pipes aren't all that deep. We don't envision a major undertaking to do this. We say, of course, this work is exposed to tidal fluctuations. So to accommodate both protection of the salt marsh, because we'll be opening up the ground to put the pipe in and also to put the head wall in, we're proposing, as you can see, a section of temporary sheet piling to go in that'll form a barrier between the work area and the adjacent salt marsh area. We envision that the work should take no more than a couple of days to get these head walls in and close up the site, and to the extent that the flows can be opened up again into the new cross culvert pipe. So it should go fairly quickly. We're also showing for any potential disturbed area within the limit of work, some ecological restoration work through the planting of salt tolerant native species plants. And we list on the plan some of them beside beach grass, American beach grass, bayberry, and beach plum. We really don't think there's going to be all that much need for as much as shown on the plan, because the vegetation is along the embankments at all locations is quite robust, and a contractor's not going to want to open up more than he really has to. So we think this can go fairly quickly, a couple of days maximum. However, at any time, we also know that we can't just have a contractor go in and completely open up the road, because at all times, emergency vehicle access has to be provided for the Seagull Beach bathhouse building. This will most likely be done in the fall time after the primary season, but there is a construction technique whereby we can do a portion of the work at a time and then backfill, and then continue on and open that section up again to emergency vehicle access, and then continue on to the other half of the project. So, and that's all explained in the notes we have for the project. Now, one of the questions we had along the way when we first got involved in the project is noting that Seagull Road is is fill material across resource area, across the salt marsh. So we recently reached out to DEP Waterways Division regarding their policy or their methodology for handling this sort of situation. And the response we got formally from DEP Waterways Division was that this being a public access road, it did not require and does not require a Chapter 91 license. However, the culvert itself will be deemed by the DEP to require a Chapter 91 license. It's a license of a previously unlicensed structure. So following approval locally and receipt of order of conditions for this project, we will then have to continue on and apply for a Chapter 91 license. And then at which time the town will be fully permitted and licensed for this work. What we were trying to do on both of these projects was to propose the wing walls landward of the mean high water line along the embankment to try to not have to go to Chapter 91 license, for the primary reason that, based on our experience, even on municipal projects, that the timeline to receive a Chapter 91 license is anywhere from 9 to 12 months. And knowing that the town would like to rectify the situation here, we were hoping that the work could be done this fall, provided the project received the order of conditions. I had a conversation yesterday with Brendan Mullaney up at DEP and posed a question to him, and he said that if it's deemed to be an emergency and the proper letters are received from the Department of Public Works in the town, there is a mechanism to allow the work to proceed and be performed on a emergency basis with the permitting being accomplished over a longer period of time. So there is a possibility for that. If in fact a new emergency does open up here, because we don't know on both of these locations if those pipes have impending failure areas under the roadway. So that's kind of an overview of both sites. We're looking at the western site. I don't know if you, Kelly, if you can bring up the eastern. It's a very similar situation.
Sorry, this is the eastern one here.
Oh, this is the eastern.
This is the eastern now.
Oh, okay. Then the other.
This is the western one. Do you want to see the profile or the?
I think that it's pretty much an identical project at both locations. The other site has a bit more area that needs to be revegetated, but the plans indicate the type of planting required and the spacing and that sort of thing for revegetation. So it's virtually the same project at two different locations. Oh, if I might add, when we applied we applied for the project, sent the application up to DEP. We got a letter back with the DEP file number, but which was really important. They did make the comment that specifically the project did not need water quality certification. So that's important. That's an important item to know.
All right, thank you, Roger. I'm going to hand it over to the commission. Any questions from the commissioners?
Oh, all set.
Okay, anybody in the audience who has any comments, questions about this project? Raise your hand digitally if you do. I see none. Unless there's any further discussion, then would somebody like to make a motion? I'm sorry,
Ed, if
Ellie?
I can.
Yeah.
This is really not in our purview, but just something I want to see if they can do something about. Is there any other fencing that they can use besides the chain link? Because that sort of aesthetically takes away from that whole area and the view of that whole area. I mean, it's like.
Well, we need a barrier across the top of the head. Well, probably can use a split rail fence. It's just a physical barrier. In the unlikely event that somebody climbs over the guardrail and
Right.
and then it's just the requirement that we're aware of when you have a drop of more than 30 inches.
Yeah.
So sure, anything else would be fine. It doesn't have to be a chain link. It could be anything else that's a barrier.
I like the idea of the split rail. That's more
Sure.
to our the Cape Cod way instead of putting a chain.
Oh,
link up there.
definitely. That would be fine.
Okay. That's all I have. Very well
Okay.
done.
Can I just make one comment, Chairman?
Yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
Just with regard to the emergency, I assume this is similar to the emergency certification process that we have under the wetlands regulations. That I don't know whether we can maybe have an engineering statement to the effect that because we've had a number of collapses and patch repairs on this road, that it, on these culverts, that would indicate that there is a risk there that we could have a larger collapse, which would kind of, require us to address it in a shorter time frame, just to assist with that permitting process through the Chapter 91, rather than kind of waiting for another collapse.
Right.
Yeah, we would assume that it would be deemed to be under threat of collapse.
Roger, have you so I'm to understand that you haven't even done anything with applying for Chapter 91 yet?
No, we're not eligible to apply for Chapter 91 until we have an order of conditions recorded with
okay.
Registry of Deeds as part of the application package.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, right. Okay.
However, I think, if the town engineer, any town official writes a letter to the DEP as part of that request, then I don't see where there's going to be a problem with the DEP waterways issuing an emergency order to get the work done. That was my impression talking with Brendan Mullaney yesterday.
Okay, well, I think we should certainly suggest to the DPW and the engineer to do that then, because sure enough, it will fail again.
Yeah, and certainly from an environmental standpoint as well, that there are impacts every time this washes out, that we end up with sediment entering the water body there.
Okay, you're all set with Kelly?
Yes, thank you.
All right, anybody else? All right, if not, would somebody like to make a motion to approve the project with special conditions?
So moved.
Who was that? Rick? Thank you, Rick. Is there a second?
Second, Ellie.
Thank you, Ellie. Kelly, would you call the roll, please?
Bishop?
Aye.
Durkin?
You're muted, Tom.
Aye.
Bernstein?
Aye.
Lawrence?
Aye.
Oops.
Aye.
Huggins?
Aye.
Mulhern?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Next order of business is a continued notice of hearing for SC 83-2282 Anthony Fiola, 1 Malfa Road, West Yarmouth, Massachusetts. Proposed construction of a retaining wall with fill and plantings within the buffer zone to a coastal beach and coastal bank and within the land subject to coastal storm flowage. Again, this is being continued to June 16th. Do I have a motion to that effect?
June
So
17th.
moved.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Was that Tom?
David.
Oh, sorry, David. And is there a second?
Second, Ellie.
Thank you, Ellie. Kelly, would you call the roll?
Bishop?
Aye.
Durkin?
Aye.
Bernstein?
Aye.
Lawrence?
Aye.
Oops.
Aye.
Huggins?
Aye.
Mulhern?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously to continue to June 17th.
All right. Next order of business is another continued notice of intent for Kristen Sorosimo Kosofsky, 39 Crosby Street Extension, South Yarmouth, Massachusetts. Proposed addition and renovations to an existing single-family dwelling within Riverfront. And is this being continued too, Kelly?
Nope, Crosby Street is ready for permitting. We were just waiting. The public comment was closed at the last hearing. We were just waiting
Oh.
for the DEP file number, which we have
Oh.
received, and the file number is 2287.
Okay. All right, so do I have a motion then to approve this project? This is SE 83-2287.
So moved, Ellie.
Thank you, Ellie. Is there a second?
Second, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. Kelly, would you call the roll?
Bishop,
Aye.
Durkin,
Aye.
Bernstein,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Hoops,
Aye.
Huggins,
Aye.
Mulhern.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Right, thank you, everybody. Next order of business is another continued notice of intent for SE 83-2285 Diago, Paraguay, 15 Wadsworth Lane, Yarmouth, Massachusetts. Proposed construction of a single-family dwelling with utilities, driveway, septic system, and appurtenances in the buffer zone to a bordering vegetative wetland and within riverfront area. This is also being asked to be continued to June 17th. Do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Is there a second?
Second, Pat.
Thank you, Pat. And Kelly, would you call the roll?
Bishop,
Aye.
Durkin,
Aye.
Bernstein,
Aye.
Lawrence. Lawrence is muted.
The space bar wasn't working on me. Aye.
Hoops,
Aye.
Huggins,
Aye.
Mulhern.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, next order of business is a notice of intent for Julianne Nevins, 35 Merchant Avenue, Yarmouth, Massachusetts. Proposed replacement of existing wood walls with stone walls in addition to native plantings and replacement of existing patios and steps within the riverfront area, coastal bank, and land subject to coastal storm flowage. And is Phil here? I didn't see him in the audience.
Yes, he is.
Yes, yes.
I just asked him to unmute.
Thank you, Ally.
You're welcome.
Hi, Phil Cheney here.
Hi, Phil.
Yeah, excellent. Yes, I am the Phil Cheney, landscape designer representing the Nevins family in this project. You have some landscape plans in front of you that explain what we're trying to do. It's kind of a unique property. The existing situation, it's a house right on the headwaters of Fallon's Pond, Muddy Creek area. We have on our border some vegetative wetlands, salt marsh. We've got the riverfront, technically, in there. So we've got a flood zone, a few different resource areas involved. Currently, going back to, I believe, the original construction of the house in the early 70s, some massive concrete retaining walls were built on the water side of the house. And these are currently in use in multiple levels and terraces as garden and patio, so forth. Some additional walls were built in the early 90s using pressure-treated lumber to support some of the upper levels on it. All that, the secondary walls have been started to deteriorate. The project really needs some repair and some rehab, and the owners would like to simplify the levels and sort of confine the areas, smaller gardening space and patio space grouped up closer to the house and get the area kind of back in order. So my suggestion to do that is to utilize the existing concrete walls as footings for some new fieldstone walls, which we can then use to backfill and create some planting beds, a smaller vegetable garden, and support the new patio area with a more permanent fieldstone wall. with steps coming down, fieldstone steps wrapping around from the west side up from the driveway side of the house. There's an exit door in that area as well. So it's a little bit complicated looking at all that's going on in the drawing there. We're really just trying to simplify what's there now, utilizing the existing walls for most of the wall footprints and enabling us to just get the levels up higher to minimize any need for more structural walls. And we're going to then utilize a lot of lower areas for some native plantings, abandoning some of the garden areas, and restore some good habitat in that area as well. You see on the planting plan coming up, yes, we're planting a number of native plants on the lower terraces closer to the water. As you can see there, a number of native species, using some of the salt bush down on the lowest end where there could be some flooding, and we've got some summer sweet, blowbush, blueberry, etc. on the upper areas. Are doing some ornamental plants up right around the patio area, which is largely underneath an existing wood deck as well, which is up on the first floor up above. Some other odds and ends that we're trying to maintain is access down to the dock on the east side. Those are currently tie steps now that are, again, deteriorating. I'd like to replace those with more permanent solid granite stone treads so we can eliminate the pressure-treated lumber from there as well. On the opposite side of the house, I would like to maintain a gravel ramp to access the remaining vegetable garden space in there. So that would be shown on the far west side of the house near the stairways. Additionally, in the front yard, just want to replace the existing bluestone walk and some retaining walls. There's a boulder retaining wall that wraps up across the front of the house, roughly over the existing septic system, and would like to replace a little bit smaller wall, more finished fieldstone, and a larger rock garden area with some stair treads up to the street. So there's a lot going on there. You may have some questions. I'm happy to answer them and see what I can do.
Okay, thank you, Phil. Commissioners, any questions?
I do, Chairman. Oops.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Rick.
I'm fundamentally in favor of the plan, but I'm not sure if Kelly asked Phil to provide a plan that shows the existing cedar trees, largest cedar trees that are seaward of the project. I wanted to be sure we had those on the record in case there are any future issues.
Excuse me, I think you're talking about the area between the edge of the salt marsh and the lower wall there?
Yeah, seaward.
Okay. Yes, okay. Yeah, because I'm showing some of the cedar trees on the westward side and so forth there. And yeah, that's just a large mass of trees that certainly have no intention of interfering with. And that could be a note added to the plan, or a note is necessary to go out there and locate individual trees.
Phil, I would appreciate it if you did that, just so we have them on the record.
Okay, that can be done.
Thank you.
Okay, you're all set, Rick?
I am, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Is there anybody in the audience who has any comments or questions about this? Raise your hand digitally if you do. All right, Kelly, you're all set. Any questions?
And I'm just going to check my notes. I think I was set. Yes, I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion among the commission? Okay, if not, then may I have a motion to approve the project pending receipt of the revised plan showing the location of the trees seaward of the concrete walls?
So moved,
Rick.
David.
Oh, sorry, David.
Thank you, David. Thank you for second, Rick. Kelly, would you call the roll then?
Bishop,
Aye.
Birkin,
Aye.
Bernstein,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Oops.
Aye.
Huggins,
Aye.
Mulhern.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right.
Very
Okay,
good.
thank you,
Thank
Phil.
you, Kelly. There, I'll plan on getting a revised plan into you then sometime next week.
Okay, thanks, Phil.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, next order of business is another notice of intent for Bahi Asakar, 181 South Street, South Yarmouth, Massachusetts, proposed construction of a 20 by 16 foot two-story addition off the westerly side of the existing dwelling within the buffer zone to a bordering vegetative wetland and within land subject to coastal storm flowage. And I believe we also have, this is also being continued then to June, not January, June 17th. Do I have a motion to that effect? Thank
So
you, Rick.
moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Sorry, who made the motion?
I think David made the motion, Rick seconded. Is that right, or was that Tom who made the
It was
motion?
Tom.
Oh, sorry, Tom. It was Tom who did that.
Hi, David. Say,
But if I can make my voice sound like Tom.
You West Yarmouth guys.
He got that funny accent. All right, Kelly, would you call the roll, please?
Bishop,
Aye.
Durkin,
aye.
Bernstein,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Oops,
Aye.
Huggins,
Aye.
Mulhern.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, thank you, everybody. All right, next order of business are on to the certificates of compliance. We have two easy issue certificates tonight. One for SE 83-119135 Merchant Avenue, Yarmouth, Massachusetts, and one for SE 83-2019 11 Southwest Drive, Yarmouth, Massachusetts. May I have a motion to issue certificates of compliance for both those, SE 83-1191 and SE 83-2019.
So moved, Pat.
Thank you, Pat. Is there a second?
Second, Ellie.
Thank you, Ellie. Kelly, would you call the roll?
Bishop,
Aye.
Durkin,
Aye.
Bernstein,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Oops,
Aye.
Aye.
Huggins,
Aye.
Mulhern.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, and then again for certificate of compliance for SE 83-97355 Great Island Road, West Yarmouth, Mass. That's being continued to June 17th. All right, next order of business is on to enforcement.
Do we
This is
need a
for
motion, sorry, to continue? Do we,
do we need to make a motion to continue it?
for certificate of
We're not
compliance?
doing anything on it, right?
No, but we continue. I don't know. Do we need a vote for a certificate of compliance continuance? Because it's not a.
I don't think we do, but if
Okay.
it would make you feel better, we
No,
can.
that's okay. That is fine. It's because it's not a hearing; it's a meeting item. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next order of business is enforcement. This is for Howard and Mary Jo Safford, 310 South Shore Drive, Yarmouth, Massachusetts. And I think I saw several people in the audience for this one. So Michael and Tyler and is it Julianne?
I've allowed everyone to talk.
Okay. All right. So whoever would like to.
Good evening.
Michael, would you go? Yeah, Mike, go ahead, Michael.
You should have the report with you. Vegetation is starting to come up, but there were 4 significant invasive species identified on the site. And so we recommend a revegetation plan and invasive species management plan.
Okay, thanks, Michael. And we haven't decided on, we haven't done any dates for that, right? We were waiting for the vegetation report, existing vegetation report first, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. So so before we go into, does anybody have any questions about the revegetation report that was already issued? Everybody set with that? Okay, then I think the only thing we need now is to look toward. I guess there are two different things. There's an issue of invasive species that are on the property that need to be managed, as well as the restoration planting that has to take place to address the cutting violation. So. Unless this, I assume this makes sense that you'll want to take care of the invasives management first, and then
Yes.
deal with the
That's
restoration planting afterwards. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I did have one question. How does the commission feel about Phragmites management outside the property toward Crow Pond?
So I mean, I guess we can certainly address it. Anything that's on the property, we can cover under these, this hearing. I mean, if you're talking about things that are moving off the actual property, the Safford's property, then you would have to enter into some sort of an agreement with the property owner.
It looks like if the town might own it. I couldn't find any evidence of an actual owner.
Yeah, because I thought that was I thought it was Red Jack or Blue Water that owned that, but
Okay.
but I mean that's just what I assumed. So don't take that for gospel. But I'm sure Kelly can help with that one. Down the line, we can figure out exactly who that is. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm just bringing up the map now so I can take a look while you're speaking. I also had a copy of the enforcement order just to refer back to what had been decided previously, and we did have the requirement for the restoration plan for the plantings and the notice of intent for the invasive species.
Okay, good. So we're still on that track. So the idea then will be to refresh everybody's memory. The idea will be to do so we would have to do a restoration notice of intent, ecological restoration notice of intent for the invasive species management. So we would ask that be done first, and get that implemented, and then we would move on to the restoration planting after that, after the invasives are taken care of. So the restoration
process, in other words.
I'm sorry, Michael, what was that?
A two-step process.
Right. So the restoration planting would be handled under the enforcement order. And then obviously we would do the notice of intent, the restoration notice of intent. So.
And just to confirm that the property is a Conservation Commission managed town-owned property.
Well, that'll make it easier. So your idea then, Michael, would be to continue the Phragmites control onto town property. Then is that what you're proposing?
That would be an option that the staffers might entertain, because it's obvious the Phragmites is moving toward them, and so it'd be nice, good for the town to push them back.
Okay, I think that would be something we'd want to discuss, because I think we're going to have to. I don't know if do we have the funds with which to contribute to that, or I think we'd have to consider some of those sorts of things before we could sign on to it, but you could certainly couch the notice of intent, couch it as just on the Safford property, and then we could go into further discussion about that as we get closer for that notice, as to whether or not we want to continue on with the town as well. But we would need, Kelly, do we have like a risk assessment person or I don't know if we can give permission to do that alone, or if we would need somebody else.
Yeah, I think we would need maybe the town administrator to sign the application as a property owner if they're in agreement with doing the work, because the commission would need to support the work being done on a property managed by you, but the town administrator or even the Board of Selectmen would need to sign the application as the actual property owner.
Okay.
So I would need to get that approval.
Okay, so for the ecological restoration notice of intent, we should go ahead and address you should go ahead and address the invasives. Consider it for the Safford's property alone right now. We can discuss at a later date whether or not we can actually even partake with that. But we would need to.
There's been some interest from other property owners around the pond to manage the Phragmites that extend even further around the bottom end of the pond there. So it might be something that we can look at as part of our ongoing program to manage invasives. So it would be good if we could have like an option sideline to the proposal, so that we would know what kind of financial commitment would be involved for us to continue that work.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to suggest. So I think that's an excellent point, Kelly. In terms of deadline, it's the 3rd of June now. You're gonna need. Are you fairly close to go with that, Michael? Do you think
No,
would you need?
not really. We haven't started to work on the plan yet.
Okay.
All we have is the one that the Saffers relayed to us.
Okay. So three. Do you need 2 months to put it together?
1 month.
1 month to do it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. So let's put a deadline then on for the submitting the ecological restoration notice of intent for, what are we, a month out is the.
Good luck, go with July 8th.
Okay, so July 8th, Michael.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go with July 8th then for the ecological restoration notice of intent submittal. And at that point, you can probably start putting together the restoration portion of the plan then as well.
Sure.
That should follow then, probably a month after that then. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so we'll do a month after, so it's August, whatever the August meeting is then.
Well, is it July 8th or July 1st?
Yeah, I think we would, well, the meeting is July, it might make sense to do July 1st, because that's the deadline for the July 15th meeting. So if we could go July, and that's probably close to a month anyway, July 1st for July 15.
Right, okay.
And then we could do, then we have an extra week that month. So we could do the 22nd of July for August 5th.
Okay, that's good. No, that's good.
Okay.
Okay, you're good with that then, Michael? So July 1st, have the deadline July 1st for submittal of the notice of intent, ecological restoration notice of intent, and then July 22nd for the restoration plan.
Okay.
Okay, commissioners, you have any other questions, comments, concerns? No, everybody good? Kelly, any other comments or concerns?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
All right. Does anybody else have any comments or concerns or questions?
Kelly, will there be a letter submitted from the commission?
Oh, yes, confirming this information.
Yes.
Yes, I'll do a letter similar to the last one I did, just confirming the decision.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay, are we all set then? Any other questions? Anybody else have any comments or concerns? Speak now, forever hold your peace, or at least until July 10th or 10th, is it? 15th? 15th. All right. So do we, if we can, let's have a motion to accept or to, I guess
Do we need a motion?
we're amending the enforcement order to include.
We already have a ratified enforcement order. I don't think that we need a vote.
Oh, we're good. Okay. So we ratified it.
Yeah,
We're
this
all-
is just an update report.
Okay, then we're all good with that. Unless there's anything else, then I would say thank you to Mr. Safford and thank you to Tyler. Thank you to Michael.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, we look forward to the notice and the restoration plan.
Okay.
Thanks, Michael. All right, next order of business is the approval of the meeting minutes for May 20th, 2021.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept as written the Conservation Commission meeting minutes of May 20th, 2021.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Is there a second?
Second, Ellie?
Thank you, Ellie. Kelly, would you call the roll?
Bernstein,
She always does this with the
Aye.
minutes, you know.
I was
mean,
expecting to be
she
third.
always goes out of
What's
order
going
with that.
on?
So you never know. Is it going to be me? I don't know.
I think she looks to see who's muted to just nail
I
them.
think she does. I think she looks to see exactly who looks like they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Thursday, you.
okay, Huggins,
Aye.
Bishop,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Mulhern,
Aye.
Durkin,
Aye.
Hoops.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
I
All
do
right.
have a question. Are we gonna do the certificate of compliance for 355 Great Island Road?
It was
Next
continued.
time.
That was continued. Sorry, I missed that. Sorry.
Is there any other business not reasonably anticipated?
Just, I guess, a quick update on reopening. So the town reopened to the public this week, town hall. I will be putting your packets in the cubbies. You may remember long ago, you used to come in and pick them up from the cupboard. So they will be in there this week from Friday onwards for you to pick up. We're also going to, we're still looking at how we'll meet moving forward. We'll be waiting for the legislation to pass or not. that will extend or not extend the ability to keep meeting remotely. And once that information comes out, then we'll be able to make a decision for how to move forward. At this stage, we are planning to meet in person for our next meeting just because we don't know. So we're kind of planning for in person, but we could possibly go remote. We're just not sure yet. So I will keep you updated on that as we get closer to that time. I will not be able to assign permits anymore once the emergency order has ended. So I will also be asking you to sign permits when you come in to pick up your packet so that we have those done. And I think, unless you guys have any questions about the reopening and or anything, I think that was all I had.
And the town hall is still requiring you to wear masks. So when you go in, make sure you wear your mask.
We're gonna meet at 5 o'clock?
Yes, that's the plan.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
I have nothing else.
Nothing else? Rick, you want to make your last impassioned plea for your tour tomorrow?
Sure. Having the good fortune of having the new town administrator, Kelly, and anyone from the conservation who would like to attend. We're going to tour the 57 acres of the Upper Bass River Watershed project we've been working on for a year and a half now.
And where are you meeting?
All 57 acres?
We're gonna walk all 57 acres. That's right. No, just we're gonna meet at the North Dennis Road Culvert, and we'll end up at the fish ladder at Miss Thatcher's Pond.
Have they fixed that little two plank walkway there through?
Of course not. You mean the Mark Forest Bridge?
Yes.
My recommendation is to wear long pants and bring tick spray, but you know.
Yes, Kelly always has the best tick spray.
I will bring the tick spray.
Thank you.
I would also suggest sending Kelly and as many people in front of you as possible. Always try and be last on that trail, so everybody else picks up all the ticks.
Yeah, we haven't.
It's a sound strategy.
I fell in a ditch last time I went out there, so I'll provide some entertainment for you.
There you go. That's another reason why people you want to go if you just to see Kelly fall in the ditch.
Yeah.
Have your camera ready.
When would work begin out there, Rick?
Oh, it's a few years away. We have a lot of permitting work to do. We have some public outreach to do, but today I picked up a good 75 pages of the 60% complete plan for the project. It's pretty exciting. So we're making great progress, and we are in the process of applying for the 2021 SNEP grant to further fund this. And we had an excellent response from them on our first letter of intent. So we're moving along.
And will you be going back to the CPC, you think, in the future too?
There's a very good chance of that. Yes. For instance, the final plan to replace the culvert on North Dennis Road, that's a $500,000 expense that we have to figure out how to, and that's just for the plan. So there's a long road here, but we're making great progress.
Excellent. Okay, thanks.
Pat?
Yeah.
We've reassembled our water testing team kits, and we're targeting the third week in June, but Ainsley will be in touch with you, and we're ready to go. We've added another location this year. Grand Cove is going to be tested as well, and we were lucky enough to receive a DEP grant for 3 more digital data loggers. So we're really going to up our game a little bit. So I'm assuming you're still on the team.
Yep. Marie and I will come back on there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Did a great job last year.
And you're getting a bonus this year too. They're giving you an increase in pay.
Another hat?
Another t-shirt? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, anything else? Anybody? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Indeed.
So moved, Ellie.
Thank you, Ellie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rick. Kelly, would you call the roll?
Hoops,
Aye.
Durkin,
Aye.
Mulhern,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Bishop,
Aye.
Huggins,
Aye.
Bernstein.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Okay.
Kelly.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.